So let's talk about the people you meet on the trail and their crazy trail names. So when you go hiking on the Appalachian Trail, you'll find that almost everyone has a nickname. We call them a trail name. These trail names are often unique and sometimes pretty innovative. People will take their own trail names, and more often than not, people are actually given a trail name because it's something they've done or some characteristic they have. Meeting these people on the trail is one of the best parts about hiking long distances and being out in the wilderness. There's something about being there with other people who share the common goal. It's pretty amazing. One of the first thru hikers I met was at the Terrapin Station Hostel at the northern end of Shenandoah National Park. I spent the night there when I was entering Shenandoah National Park. And I spent the night with Pick Me Up. Pick Me Up was a recent graduate of the Colorado School of Mines and was taking a year off to hike the Appalachian Trail before he started his career. He and I spent the evening together talking about the trail and our goals and life, and it was just a wonderful experience. Little did I know that 6 weeks later I would be hiking up in New England, and all of a sudden I would run into this familiar face. That familiar face looked at me and said, "Puffin, is that you?" And I went, "Oh my God, Pick Me Up. How you doing?" So he and I talked again for another 10 minutes or so and connected on what we were doing and caught up on what was going on the trail. And then we both went on our way. About the same time when I was hiking in New England, I started to see signs that the Methodist Church of Eastern Tennessee had a trail chaplain hiking the entire trail. I saw pictures of this guy. His trail name was Wildcat. And soon I met him, and he and I ended up hiking most of Vermont and all of Massachusetts together. We met lots of people, had a great time together, and we had an awful lot in common. One day, Wildcat and I were hiking along the trail in Massachusetts, and we ran into this young woman hiking alone. I couldn't believe she was out in the wilderness without anyone with her, walking along the trail. On top of that, when we introduced ourselves, she had a really strong Southern accent. And I went to myself, "Oh my gosh, who is this young lady?" She kind of said like, "Hi y'all, I'm Dixie, how you doing?" Little did I know that this young woman would soon be one of the most famous women on the Appalachian Trail. She has done so many YouTube videos and is known by almost every single hiker out on the trail. She is absolutely fearless and an amazing person. So when I hiked through Shenandoah, my son joined me for a few days. We hiked together and had a really great time. Several people asked him if he had a trail name. He initially said no, but he was told that if he didn't get one, someone would give him one, and it would probably be Weenie. So he decided to go by Barbershop. He's a singer. Figure. In 2019, I was hiking in Southwest Virginia. I heard along the trail in front of me some people talking. I heard a really familiar voice. And when I went around the corner and saw these people talking, I realized that there was Trouble. I had hiked with Trouble in Pennsylvania the previous year, and there he was on the trail in Southwest Virginia. Again, I had run into someone for the second time on the trail. So there are a couple trail names that I thought were really pretty remarkable. When I was in Southwest Virginia, I met a young man whose trail name was Patient Zero. I asked him how he got his name. Well, it turns out when he hiked through the Smokies, he carried norovirus from the Smokies into Standing Bear Hostel and shut the hostel down for several days. That's when he got the trail name Patient Zero. I think my favorite one of all was a trail name I saw in a logbook in a shelter. This guy had put an entry in the logbook and signed it with his trail name, Urgent Cat Hole. So I probably should explain why my trail name is Puffin. Puffin is a name that I chose myself, and it's really a tribute to my mother. My mother had breast cancer when I was very young, and she died while I was still in school. She was a very strong, determined woman, lived with her disease for a very long time, in a time when there was literally minimal treatment for her disease. Her nickname was Puff. She got it because when she was a toddler, she would go up and down the stairs, a huffin' and a puffin'. And kind of that's what I do when I go uphill when I hike too. My parents also raced small sailboats, and they raced a class of boats called penguins, and my mother's favorite color was orange. So taking Puff and penguins and orange and all that together, Puffin was a natural choice for me. So I'm headed out again to the trail shortly. I'll be out there in a week or two. I'm looking forward to meeting all these amazing hikers and looking at their interesting trail names. One other thing that I'm going to do is when I'm hiking, I'm going to try to do some hiker interviews and talk to people and find out who they are and what their trail names are and whether or not there's an interesting story behind their trail name. So when you look at my videos from the trail, look for hiker interviews. Hopefully I'll be able to show you who these interesting people are and why their journeys are so remarkable.